Alright, let's talk about the wildfires that are going on in Maui. I just did about a 30-minute live stream, but just in case you don't have time to watch that, this will just be a much more concise version. So basically, we had some fires pop up in Maui, and there's already been reports of 6 fatalities, and here's a before and after photo of Lahaina. Some reports are saying that basically the entire historic tourist town has been destroyed at this point. Right there, you can actually see the large banyan tree. Can't confirm or deny whether that's burnt at this point. But basically what's going on is we had very windy conditions and dry conditions that led to these wildfires. So we're going to talk about what led to the windy, dry conditions. But first, I just want to show that this is where the fire was. See the fire over here by Lahaina and then this other fire near Kihei. But if we actually look at our GOES detection, so that heat that's coming off of these fires right now, that's where there's actually some good news. It looks like there's not much fire activity still happening around Lahaina, and then there's less heat coming off of the fire near Kihei. So looks like we're moving in the right direction, but unfortunately it does look like much of the damage has already been done. So your first thought might be, it's weird that there's fires happening in Hawaii. Those aren't two things you typically hear together, and you usually just think of lush rainforest, but there's a few different things that came together to lead to this fire. Now, the first one has to do with wind. Down here you can see Hurricane Dora. It's a Category 4 hurricane, and although that's about 800 miles away from Hawaii, it is leading to a pressure gradient that led to the gusty winds in Hawaii. So because of this hurricane down here, you have a bigger pressure gradient between your high and your low. That leads to windier conditions on Maui. And if you've ever been to Maui, you know it's already a pretty windy island. Now on top of that, you also just have trade winds that are very typical. Now that has a big impact on your fuel conditions. So we do usually have a high like this over the Pacific, and you can see how it has clockwise flow. That leads to east to west winds over Maui, and what that does is it leads to the rain shadow effect. That means a lot of the moisture is squeezed out on the eastern side of the island as the air is pushed up the mountains, and then when it comes down the backside of the mountains, a lot of that moisture has already been squeezed out, so you actually have pretty dry conditions on the western side of Maui. And that was one of the things that surprised me the most when I went there. Now when we look at the drought monitor, this perfectly shows that rain shadow effect. On the eastern side of the island, you have no drought conditions, but then almost the entire western side of the island is in either moderate drought or that bright orange color right there, which represents severe drought. So when your fuels are dry and you have strong winds, it makes it easier for fires to start, and then once those fires do start, they're able to spread rapidly. Now, one other factor that we have going on is the ongoing red flag warning. And you can see it's on a lot of the leeward side of the Hawaiian Islands. But there is some good news there. It will be expiring at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Now, I will be keeping a close eye on this overnight, though, because we will still have some gusts to 40 to 50 miles per hour. Humidity around 40 to 45%. We do still have some dry fuels. But I will say it is good news that it looks like there's less heat activity on the fires right now. So obviously this is some terrible news. If you want to help the people who have been impacted by this fire, you can go to the GoFundMe link in the description of this video, and this will go directly to some of the families impacted. So hopefully this video was helpful, and thanks for watching.